Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Tuesday. I am so happy to be here. I am Georgia Davis. I am your host, coming to you live from beautiful, scenic northern Utah, where I am on a mission to help you live a focused, driven life one day at a time. Thank you so much for joining me. We are going to start today out with a breathing exercise. We are going to be talking about my lighting. I'm just never sure where exactly to put it. Okay, I think I like that the best. We are going to start with a breathing exercise just to get grounded a little bit today. And I am just going to take you along for the ride here. So, we are going to, making sure everything's set here so I know what time it is and I just stay on track today. Okay, so we're going to start with a quick breathing exercise. We're going to breathe in. I'm going to have you hold it for 5 seconds and then I'm going to have you breathe out. Okay, so go ahead and close your eyes. Take a nice breath in. Hold it for 5 seconds. Feel your shoulders relax and breathe out. Okay, just keep your eyes closed for just a minute here. I'm just going to read you a quote by Jack Kornfield, and I just want you to sit with it for a minute. When we get too caught up in the busyness of the world, we lose connection with one another and ourselves. I just want you to sit with that for a minute, see what resonates, see if there's any feelings or emotions that come up with that for you. When we get too caught up in the busyness of the world, we lose connection with one another and ourselves. Now, here's a couple things that I want you to think about. This is a busy time of year. There's a lot of craziness going on. Thanksgiving just got done. We're getting ready for Christmas. We're getting ready for the new year. You know, if you've got kids at home, kids are on break, maybe you've got extra leave from work, whatever it might be, it's a really busy time of year for most people. If you're in the U.S. Now, if you're out of the U.S., I don't know what your celebrations are, but we're at the turn of a year. A lot of people create New Year's resolutions to help them move forward with their goals at the beginning of the year. And with all the busy and craziness at the end of the year, I feel like sometimes we set aside what's important to us. We don't stop for a minute and connect with ourselves. So that's what today is all about. We're going to talk about tuning in to your higher power. Now, what does this mean? It certainly is not tied to religion. So I just want to be clear on that. Tuning into your higher power is not associated with any religion anywhere. It's more about connecting with yourself and gaining clarity from deep within you and seeking inner guidance. That inner voice that tells you that maybe you're not following your heart, or maybe there's something bigger for you to accomplish. This could be God, it could be intuition, it could be spirit or source, it could be universal wisdom, whatever it is that feels right to you, whatever it is that feels the most aligned to you. My personal preference is God, that God is trying to direct me and I need to listen to spirit so that I can be on the right track of where I need to be. But again, this is unattached necessarily to religion and more on tuning in to your own inner voice of what you feel like gives you the best direction. You have within you a stillness and a sanctuary to which you can retreat at any time. That's by Hermann Hesse or Hesse. No, we don't always feel like there's a stillness or sanctuary within. Well, I don't always. Not when I'm not listening to that higher power or inner voice. What do you think? Do you feel like you always have that inner stillness or peace or sanctuary from the inside? If you don't, today's session, today's live is perfect for you, and I'm grateful that you're joining me. All right, the next part of this, signs that you're not in tune. This is going to help you evaluate whether you're in tune or not. And we're going to start with the feeling of feeling scattered. Do you feel like you're running a whole bunch of different directions, but you're not really getting anything done? Are you doubting your decisions that you're making? Or maybe you're feeling disconnected from your purpose of peace. Or you're feeling disconnected from peace itself. This may mean that you are not connected to your higher power and that you're not tuning in to the direction for you. Are you on autopilot instead of being intentional? When we're on autopilot, we're definitely not tuning into our higher power. We're not tuning into that inner guidance. We're just acting off of default. This is what I do every day, so this is what I'm going to do today. That doesn't allow you to receive those messages from yourself that might tell you, hey, you need to slow down. Hey, maybe you need to go do this thing today. Here's a perfect example of that. Yesterday morning, I usually get up around 5 o'clock in the morning. And yesterday morning, I woke up at 5 and I just felt like I needed more sleep. So I reset my alarm. I woke up a little bit later and I'm like, you know what? My inner self is telling me, my higher power is telling me I need more sleep than that. So I reset my alarm to a later time. Now, at that later time, I didn't necessarily want to get up, but I had given myself, I listened to my higher power, my inner voice that guided me and helped me to take a little bit of time for myself, even though it wasn't planned, even though it wasn't scheduled. And I was able to perform better yesterday than had I gotten up when my schedule, my habit, my routine, unintentional actions would have guided me to otherwise. So taking that time for myself was really important and valuable. You know, John Lennon, there's this great quote, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. I just so feel like that applies here because that's exactly what happened yesterday. Life was happening and I was making other plans, but I stepped back for a moment and took a little bit of time for myself. So use that criteria to help you know whether or not you're tuning into your higher power or if you're just on autopilot and acting without intention. So how do we act with intention and tune into that higher power? Well, here are a few things for you to keep in mind as you're trying to analyze this for yourself. First, one of the most important things you can do is just pause for a minute. Take a step back, kind of like I did yesterday morning in my example. Take a step back and find out what you really need. One of the best ways I've learned to do this is just get in a quiet place and breathe for 60 seconds. You know, we do it all day, every day anyway, but if you can take a moment for yourself, step away from everything and just focus on your breath. Or the other thing that's super helpful is to take 5 deep breaths. Hold them for 5 seconds and then release them. This can help you get recentered and allow your inner voice for you to be able to tune into your higher power, to be able to speak to you, for you to just listen to yourself for a minute. Next, ask yourself, what do I need right now? Again, a perfect example was what I shared about my morning yesterday. I needed more sleep. I needed to just rest. And so I did. So ask yourself in the moment, what do I need right now? And then act off of that. Maybe you need an hour to do it, but you've only got 10, 15 minutes. Take that 10, 15 minutes and do it. Take that time for yourself so that you can pour out of a full cup instead of an empty cup. Next, listen to yourself. Are there any sensations or emotions or thoughts or feelings that are coming up for you? What are they telling you? Are they telling you you're tired? Are they telling you you need something to eat or that you need to drink something? Are they telling you that you need physical movement and exercise in your body? Is it telling you something else? Be aware of those thoughts and emotions and feelings that surface for you, because it's your body trying to tell you what it needs. It might be telling you what the problem is or what the solution is, and it's up to you to continue to tune into yourself so you know how to resolve that. One of the next important things is to create a peaceful, quiet space for yourself. Create a space where you have the ability to listen to and tune into what's going on. Thinking about what's going on. Silence the background noise. Put your phone down. Turn it off or silence it. Slow down. Step outside. Take a moment for yourself. Maybe that means going for a drive. Maybe it means having the house to yourself and just having that quiet space for a moment. Maybe it means, for the men out there, maybe it means going and hiding in your man cave, wherever that is. And just quiet the noise for a minute. Create a space where you can do all these things, where you can breathe, where you can ask yourself the question, what do I need right now? And you can listen to the responses that you're getting. I think taking time for ourselves is so underrated. And I think that there's a lot of hype about, do this for yourself, do that for yourself. But sometimes we just need to stop for a moment, have that quiet space, and tune in to listen to ourselves. The next, and I think one of the hardest things to do, is to trust yourself through the process. Trust the answers that you receive from yourself, even if you don't believe that they're true. Because when you tune into your higher power, your inner voice, your God, your source, your spirit, whatever it is going to give you the answers that you need and that will help you move forward on the best path for you. Your higher power is going to speak in steady truths, not fear. So if you're feeling thoughts of fear or anxiety, it's not your higher self. It's not being tuned in to your higher power. That's your own thoughts coming in, trying to preserve and protect you and not seeking your best interest. When we act out of fear, we often do things that either will harm us later, have negative consequences, or that will set us backwards. So try to set your fear aside, acknowledge it, but don't give it any power to act for you. Your higher power is going to speak in small nudges, repeating thoughts, feelings of relief, or openness. If you've ever had a moment where you just have a feeling of calm in the midst of a storm, that's your higher power. You're in tune with that higher power. If you have a repeating thought that you feel like you need to keep, or that you feel like you keep thinking over and over and over, that's your higher power trying to nudge you or encourage you to take that step. And sometimes it only says it once. So if you can learn to tune into your higher power and you can take those subtle nudges, because sometimes they're subtle, or if you can take that one-time thing and do it, you're going to be way more empowered. Here's something that I've learned. When I'm good at tuning into myself, And when I'm willing to listen to my higher power, that soft, subtle, one-time thought that's so faint in the background, sometimes those can be the most powerful actions that I take for that day. So be aware of those things that you're thinking and feeling, because they are moving you to do and act in a way that's going to not only serve your best good, but serve others. Something I heard the other day is that giving and serving is one of the most selfish things that we can do. And here's why. Because when you serve and give to others, the universe, God, spirit, source has to give it back to you. It has to, in a sense, repay you for the service and what you've given to others. We don't always see it manifest right away. We don't always feel the effects of it right away, but it does come back to you. So in this sense, be selfish and as selfish as you can through service and giving to others. So just wrapping it up, we're going to do a breathing exercise here in just a moment. But here is your homework for today's live. Your homework is to practice grounding. Go outside barefoot. Sit in a quiet space. Have time to meditate. Create a space and an environment where you can tune into yourself. And then just sit there. If you can stay for 5 minutes at minimum and just sit with yourself, listening and tuning into your higher power, that is going to be a huge benefit for you. I try to do at least 5 minutes every single day, anywhere during the day, whether it's first thing in the morning or in the middle of my day or at the end of the day. And I try to just tune into myself. And if you can do that, and then journal your thoughts or your feelings about what you're experiencing in that moment, you're going to be able to magnify your efforts, and you're going to be way more on track with where you want to go and how to get there. So just those few things to keep about. That's your homework assignment for this week. We're going to go ahead and go into our breathing exercise today. We're going to take 5 breaths. We're going to hold for 5 seconds. And as you breathe in, I want you to breathe in the energy of your higher power. Just see if you can tune into that. When you hold, I want you to think about letting go and tuning into the voice of that higher power. And as you breathe out, I want you to breathe out anything that feels heavy or dark or negative. And then we'll start that cycle over again. All right, here we go. So first breath. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathe out that weight. Second breath. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathe out. Feel your shoulders relax. And breathe in as you try to tune into that higher power. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. It's your fourth breath. Really focus on listening to that higher power and breathe in. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out all of the tension that you feel. Let your body relax and melt into your chair. And our last breath, make it your best. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And breathe out. Thank you so much for joining me today. I always appreciate your support, and really focus on tuning into yourself as you prepare for the next holiday, the turn of the new year. This is a great time to be tuning into yourself, tuning into your higher power, and getting some good clarity and direction on where you want to go with your life in 2026. Join me next week for time management. That's going to be on Tuesday, December 9th, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm looking forward to seeing you there and talking about time management. I'll just leave you with this one last quote. You are never alone. You are eternally connected with everyone. That's by Amit Ray. We'll see you next week.